Hi everyone, I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm really grateful that you're listening, subscribing and commenting. I really appreciate the support. And in this one, I wanted to speak to you about a particular, I think it's an ADHD trait or an autistic trait. I have no idea. I'm mildly autistic and I definitely have ADHD. Whatever the reason might be for it, I have no idea if it's genetic or if it's, the environment. I don't know any of that. I'm not an expert. I have been diagnosed by someone who diagnoses ADHD people for a living. But I do want to say that a lot of the things that I say about, maybe this is an ADHD thing, I find that there's a lot of overlap between ADHD traits and INFJ traits. And I really wonder the reason why INFJs might be, the 1%, the rare, the out-of-the-box thinkers, the black sheep of the family, the ones that are like the outsiders. It might be because of the fact that we have ADHD and that kind of social awkward brain thing is causing us to be the outsiders. So I'm not really sure exactly what it is. I'm not going to know until someone does a study on this. I have no idea. But I can tell you there's a lot of overlap between the two, and I really wonder why. Either way, the one thing that I've noticed about myself as an individual, and I notice myself more and more, I'm understanding myself more and more as I get older. I had no idea how I behaved, what were my trigger points, who I was, what made me tick when I was younger, because it was as if it takes, and I've said this many times before, I think it takes INFJs and ADHD, people with ADHD, or anyone who's like mildly out of the box or on the spectrum. I feel like it takes us like twice, not even twice as long, 5 times as long as neuronormal people to do the things that they need to do. I think it took me maybe at least 3 to 4 times longer. It takes me 3 to 4 times longer to do anything, to understand anything than anyone else. But once I understand it, I really understand it. So the trait that I'm speaking about in this video is the fact that I will literally work at something, whatever it might be. I can specifically speak about one example, and I've shared this example with a lot of my friends, and I'm like, why is it like that? So I've been studying languages. I love languages. If you don't know, I love languages. I've been studying a lot of different languages for a while now. I have 2-3 different apps on my phone, and then I take one-on-one lessons, and then I take group lessons. I'm trying all the time to improve my language skills, especially in the languages that I love, in the countries that I love. So Thailand, obviously I love Thailand, so I'm constantly studying Thai. I love the Korean language itself. It just sounds really good, and also obviously I'm watching a lot of Korean dramas, so I'm always learning the Korean language as well. And Japanese, I love the Japanese language. It's just beautiful. So I'm constantly on Lingo Deer trying to understand the language. Arabic, I love Arabic. Spanish. So those are the few languages that I'm constantly focused on. And so I got Lingo Deer about 2 years ago. Lingo Deer is an app, language app. Someone recommended it on TikTok. I was like, oh, this looks interesting. I tried it, really liked it. Got a lifetime subscription for about 150 something US dollars. Totally worth it. I've been using it for 2 years, not diligently or consistently, but for 2 years I've definitely been on there taking lessons in Korean. And okay, so I've been doing it for 2 years, and 2 years it felt like I was making no progress at all. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing the lessons over and over again and not understanding anything? It is like as if my mind is a black hole, and everything that I studied just went into this black hole and nothing made sense. But thankfully, I'm the kind of person who's kind of pretty consistent, or at least persistent with things that she really cares about. If I don't care about something, I don't care. But if I really care about something, or I do care about something, I will pay attention to it, and I will try my level best. And so, I kept on going. I was like, I don't know, I don't understand anything in Korean. Okay, let's just keep on going. Okay, I really still don't understand anything. Okay, don't worry about it. Let's still keep on going. For 2 years, I kept on going, right? Which I actually quite impressed myself with that. I'm like, why am I still going with this when I really have no idea what I'm doing with it? Suddenly though, after 2 years, I should say, like really after 2 years, Suddenly, a few weeks back, I was in Thailand, I was kind of doing something, and I was on Lingodeer, and I was looking at a blog post about Korean language. Suddenly, I had been studying how to read and write, and I had no idea what I was doing. Suddenly, as I said, literally felt like from one moment to the next, suddenly, hallelujah, I could read and write Korean. It was literally from 0 to 100. 0 to 100. I did not understand the language at all. I did not know how to read and write. And suddenly, the next moment, it felt like the next moment, I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey, wait a second. I know how to read this. I know how to write this. And I was able to figure it out. I just don't know what that was about. And this is not just in Korean language, obviously. Lots of different aspects of my life, I'll notice this about myself, where I'm struggling. I'm forcing myself to understand something and still not getting it. I'm trying. It feels like I'm banging my head against the wall and nothing's happening. And suddenly, as I said, from 0 to 100, suddenly in one moment, it is as if everything just falls into place and I can understand everything in that moment about that particular subject matter, whatever I was studying, right? It happened like that with my finances, it happened like that with my writing, it happened like that with with languages, it's happened with me with dance, it's happened with me when I was studying the ukulele. I don't know how neuronormal people kind of do it. I don't know if it happens like that for them as well. Like suddenly in one moment they suddenly have that click. I have no idea, because I don't have that many people I can ask about that. But I do notice that this sudden hallelujah moment is quite crazy, because it is, as I said, from 0 to 100. It's like nothing. Suddenly everything makes sense. Nothing, and suddenly everything makes sense. It's like the problem is that a lot of us on the spectrum, we do not have the skill of persistence unless we really care about something. And so in things that we don't care about, like things that are boring to us, perhaps it's finances. I like finances. I like money, so I like talking about it, and I'm happy to force myself to study it. But whatever you're not interested in, taxes or whatever it might be, if you don't care about it, we're not going to persist at it. We're not going to be consistent at it. You're not going to spend 2 years learning a language when you're not getting anything out of it. I don't know how I did it. I have no idea. So, I kept on going with it. But a lot of people will not. A lot of us will be like, whatever, I don't really care about this. It's not working out. I'm not getting it. I've had those moments with dance myself, and I'm trying to learn K-pop moves, and my brain, it does not get those moves. I cannot figure out left, right, up, down. I have no idea. And so a lot of times I just want to give up. I'm like, I'm not good at it. I'm never going to be good at it. But if I just keep on going with it, I know in one moment, at some point in time, I don't know, years down the line maybe, there will be one moment where I'll be like, whoa, everything makes sense. I can do it. I can do it without any issue. Something in our brain clicks. Something in our brain just falls into place. Something just it's literally like a click. In my mind, it feels like a certain click. And you're like, oh, like a plugged in kind of moment. And suddenly you're like, yeah, okay, the light has come on and I know what this subject is all about. Whoa, how did that happen? Now, as I said, most of us will not be persistent enough. We won't be consistent enough for long enough to make that click happen, unfortunately. Now I'm telling you, I'm giving you this insight as an older INFJ, an older person with ADHD, that if you want to be successful at whatever you're trying to be successful at, it doesn't have to be necessarily life. I'm just talking about if you really want to start writing comics or whatever it might be, you want to get good at it, but you feel like, it does not make sense, just stick with it for a few months, maybe 2 years. And I know it's saying a lot. You're like, 2 years? I can't even stick with it for a month. But really, if you really care about it, hopefully you do care enough about it that you can be like, okay, I'll put in the time. And it might be 6 months for you. It might be 6 weeks. The time frame that you need to be consistent with the item, it differs. It differs from thing to thing. So for one thing, it might be a very short period of time that you have to be consistent with. For me, it took me 2 years to get to this point with the Korean language. With dance, it takes me much longer. And so the time frame changes depending on the item. So you have no idea actually how long you need to be consistent for. which is a real annoyance because you're like, well, maybe I'll never get good at this, right? The thing is, probably you will. If you keep enough at it, long enough at it, eventually you will get there. Again, we don't know how long. And so a lot of us are like, it's too long. I'm not going to bother with this. I'm going to move on to something else and then be bad at that and then give up on that and then, keep on moving onward like that. But if you've found 2 or 3 different things that you really, really care about and you want to get good at it, no matter what, if it takes your lifetime, you will do it. And there are certain things like that in my life where I will spend a lifetime on them. I love them. I'm going to do them for the rest of eternity. And I don't care if I'm good at it or bad at it. I'm just going to keep on at it. And so languages is one of them. I love languages. Even if I'm never fluent at any of these languages, I don't care. I'm going to keep on studying them. Same thing with yoga, writing, traveling, nomading, all the different things that I do. A lot of it I'm not very good at. But I'm going to keep on going with it because I love it. Until I die, I'll be doing it. Same thing with these videos. I always say, I'm not good at it. I am not a professional, but I'm going to keep on doing them as much as possible until I die because I just like doing them, right? And so I wanted to kind of give you this little hint into the ADHD brain or the INFJ brain, whatever you want to call it, that it does take us time, more time than regular, in order to get things, in order to get that click. And so please spend the time if you really care about something. Spend a few months, spend a few years, whatever it might be. Time is going to pass by anyways. In a few years, you might be really, really good at it. So why not spend the time? You're spending your time on nonsense things anyways. I spend inordinate amount of times on useless things that are not getting me anywhere. So why not spend a little bit of time on things that you actually care about, right? And so I hope this helps you. If you have any questions about this topic or any other topic, please comment below. Or you can message me directly. I have my email address in the description below. Again, thank you so much for listening, for being on my channel. I really appreciate your support, and I shall see you the next time around. Bye for now.